Most successful things are built during a season of no. But what the hell is a season of no? The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. When we look at most successful entrepreneurs, one thing most of them have in common is that they go through a season of no. What many like to call going ghost mode is essentially a season of prioritizing your goals above most things, and I like to call that a season of no. During this season, if you want to succeed in whatever goal you have in mind, you essentially have to say no to anything and everything that does not contribute to your goals. Now, don't worry guys, I am not the narc here. A season of no does not last forever. I mean, the whole point of it is to be temporary and very intense. It is definitely not sustainable long term, and socializing, networking, and having fun is definitely a vital part of having a good life and becoming a good person. But if you want to accomplish that big thing you have in mind, you might want to consider going through a season of no. That means saying no to friends, no to alcohol, no to socializing. I think that people think that it often hurts to say no to other people. It almost feels like you're rejecting them, and if you have ever been on the other side of that, it definitely doesn't feel good to be canceled on or when somebody says no to hanging out with you. But understand that saying no to something actually means saying yes to whatever it is that matters most to you. It is very important to learn how to make your goals a big priority in your life. Just as we are always so reluctant to call in sick at work, we need to prioritize our goals in the same manner. The reason why you feel so reluctant to call in sick at work is because you know that you have work to do and that your boss is gonna get mad at you. But if you're working on your goals, you also know that you have work to do. The only difference is you don't have that boss yelling at you. So you need to build that self-discipline to know when it's work time and when it's playtime. You cannot fail at something if you never stop working on it. And most people stop working on whatever it is that matters most to them because they get distracted by whatever it is that other people are doing. Look, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So if you keep on hopping from one venture to another, you're just gonna fail at all of them. Especially today with the internet, more and more people are learning about ways they can make money online with just a laptop and some initial capital. So it's very important to just lock in and keep on working on whatever it is that you know is going to yield returns in the future. Whether that's you starting a business, getting a promotion, or graduating school with good grades. And you might think that saying no to things is going to close doors, but in reality, the opposite is true. People want to be around people that are doing well in life. The reason why opportunities and doors are showing up for you is because people see the work that you've put out so far. And by saying no to things and saying yes to whatever it is that matters most, not only is it likely that those doors will remain open, but many others will open up as a result of your consistency and dedication to your goal. Look, try to conquer one thing at a time, whether that's at the gym or focusing on growing one specific social platform or starting a business or getting a 4.0 GPA, whatever it is. Try to focus at one thing at a time. Just as I said earlier, many times people will try to conquer something, then quickly move on to something that's flashier and newer, which leads them to being mediocre at all of them. Instead, what you should do is pick something that you know is worth working towards and enter a season of no with the intention of conquering that goal. Let other people's dreams of you die so yours can live. Look, the worst thing you can do is waste your time and explain your decisions and your choices to those who do not live the life that you want to live. The sad truth is that most people don't want you to be the best version of yourself. In actuality, they want the version of you that serves them best. So when people give you unsolicited life advice, take it with a big grain of salt if they're not living the life that you see yourself living. The reality is that most of us aren't really exposed or around really successful people. All right, chances are that uncle that's giving you that life advice has a 401k, and he maybe owns a house, and maybe he's on track to retire at 65 and finally start living for himself. But understand that there's a lot more out there for you to conquer. How do you think companies like Bugatti, Gulfstream, Louis Vuitton, all of these big, expensive luxury brands are in business? They are in business because there's enough rich people out there who are willing and able to buy their products. That means that there's no shortage of people who went against the grain, took a risk in life, and are now reaping the rewards of their hard work. I still remember the day when it all clicked to me and I realized that I had everything backward. I was at a Cars and Coffee event, and for those of you guys who are not into cars, Cars and Coffee essentially is the Sunday morning event where car owners show up at a parking lot, get coffee, and talk about their cars. Now, there's one thing that most people overlook when it comes to Cars and Coffee that it was always so clear to me, and that is that car guys are just kids who grew up and now have money to play with bigger toys. And here's the thing, these toys cost a lot of money, which means that these car guys must make a lot of it, especially those guys who are the highlight of the meet with their expensive exotic cars and all their mods. And I remember as if it was yesterday, as I was standing there next to my 2008 V6 Mustang. I finished gathering all of my stuff, all of my camera gear, and I started to make my way into the parking lot. From a distance, I saw something that changed my life. Parked side by side were a Lamborghini SVJ, a McLaren 720S, and a Porsche GT3 RS. Of course, I had heard of these cars before, but it was just one of those things where you see in the movies and on Instagram, but you never actually feel like they're real or that you can obtain them. It just feels so far away. And that's exactly the problem. What you surround yourself with, the people, the cars, the city you live in, all of it shapes who you are. I took a second to realize that none of the people around me had over $200,000 to put towards a car just for fun. And that's when I started to say no to most of their advice. Why would I listen to somebody who doesn't have the things that I want to have? Saying no to the advice from people who don't have the things that you want to have or live the life you want to live doesn't mean you are disrespecting them and rejecting their opinion. You are simply choosing to stick with your guns and your decisions. After all, it's your life. Now listen, it is very important that you are actually working towards something with substance, okay? If you're defined a stranded trajectory, which is go to college, get a job, and yada, 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 it is crucial that you are on a good trajectory and that you're working towards something with actual substance. Something that can support you and your family. After all we want to do is make our parents proud of us. Look, someone's dream must die. Whether that's yours or the people who are closest to you, you can't pursue both at the same time. What ends up happening most of the time is that you try and do both and you accomplish neither. So you might as well just focus 100% on yours. Another thing that is very important during the season of no is stop letting people interrupt you. You are 4 times more productive per unit of time when you are uninterrupted. If you're locked in a flow mode, working on your business or your schoolwork, and somebody calls you and they want to chat, or they just called you out of the blue and you pick up, the real cost of that phone call is not the 10-15 minutes you guys spent talking, but now you have to re-enter this flow state and regain focus and lock in again, and that's going to increase the amount of time that's going to take you to get that task done by 4 times. Again, guys, a season of no is temporary, so you're not going to be doing this forever. If you want to accomplish the big thing, then you have to make sacrifices. A lot of people have to-do lists, myself included, but one thing that I think more people should do is have 2 don't lists. Lists of things that you will not be doing in this set period of time. Are you willing to stop drinking on the weekends? Are you willing to turn your phone off when you work? Are you willing to quit social media for a bit? These are all things you gotta think about before entering your season of no. You're watching this video, which is already a huge step in the right direction. Now let's get out there and make it happen. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.